Welcome to our future humans and to those who are brave and choosing your well being, love, and life. That means choosing the power of equanimity. We began today with a short and the unhealthy, insecure, sick minds. Well, we have some news for you, or me, Maria, 5D Mystic here, but I'm with my human hat too. They're not going to go that far. They will be able to continue manifesting whatever they want, but they won't honor themselves, and therefore they will not honor us here at IHP with their true self. Okay, so when you meet the individuals who are self-righteous in this way of thinking, they know the right morality, the wrong morality, and that's a bunch of words that don't mean anything to a person who uses them to try to explain a concept and share one. And I'm integrating bunch of different notes. If you're new, I'm attachment trauma educated, but again, I'm bringing conversation. So the overly wise, the righteous, zealous human beings, you'll be hearing them from the God, Source, Akash spiritual group, to the pseudo-intellectuals with their dogma, and to the ignorant sciences who completely just have so grandiosity. And really it's an unhealthy, sick mind for that reason, because they're playing out their 0-8 emotional maturity levels, but they're really not mature. They were frightened. And so because they have unhealthy fear, and their unhealthy fear is towards everything, whether it's God, and this invisible hell that doesn't exist, but really the whole God thing and this shame, fear, or with sciences, it would be more of them trying to like completely just say they know everything and that's spiritual. It's a black and white thinking. Okay, so when you meet people who don't know how we're not right, we're not wrong, the ones who want to say no, but there is, yes, sure there is. Let me leave it alone, because good intentions are not enough. It takes the right action performed with the right consciousness to produce the necessary results. Thank you, Sadhguru. And when somebody immediately wants to tell me they know the right way, I know that they think, but you're doing it right now. Yes, I do know what the right way is. The brave ones choose equanimity. So they choose to navigate, number one, their sense of self. So if you take your well-being seriously, you will have chosen love by being your true self. Child parts are asleep. So you don't have and want to have righteous anything, because you'll know you're not right or wrong. And a subjective, objective experience. When you look at the globe, you'll know that there are things that our ancestors and that we're going through right now. So you have no trauma charges. So non-traumatized brains, those are the brave ones, because their default mode network is no longer helpless. The ones who are working to heal themselves are working to heal themselves. They are being brave. They just won't resonate with IHP content because we're equanimous, and they don't like equanimity yet. Well, I don't know. That's the part. I have no idea. If they're working with a good therapist, I know that, like Dr. Daniel Fox tells people that go to him, you want to find the individuals who are healthy self-worth. So the ones that are not going to cast a stone on you, basically. Terry Real points it out too. Functional adults is what he calls them. So when you meet healthy self-worth human beings, they're mentally, emotionally, physically mature, mystic, spiritual, and mindful. This is why we don't pretend or assume to know more about God's law than we're humans. The mystics who think that they have an exact model and key to God are playing that which they're not. Those who say with their batons, we are the chosen group, we're all a chosen group, okay? So self-righteous zeal, and anyone who wants to say they know everything, they're pretty much going to be a two-faced hypocrite who's a coward, who is a cognitive dissonance, non-bilaterally integrated brain person who is not in a brain that knows how it feels to be empowered. Their brain is helpless because the default mode network is still scanning self and others, and that's because their body is not theirs, so they don't own it. They don't own their 14-month-old. They can have all of the people rallying up near them. They can have all of it. Guess what the enlightened ones know? Compassion beyond a shadow of a doubt, forgiveness beyond a shadow of a doubt, and thinking clearly and seeing clearly, which is why, propelled by rage, we substitute one injustice for another. Propelled by compassion, we do what is needed. Thank you, Sadhguru. So the brave ones, IHP, it's the people who understand. The unhealthy, insecure, sick minds bring forth their brokenness from their own first years of life into the world, and more than just that, because we don't just come from the womb, we are raised. So we are raised by societal culture. We are raised by our first society is our home, our immediate family. In fact, the first 8 years of your life, you're codependent. So all the stories you tell yourself, all of it. Then you're 8 to 11, as you're an adolescent, now you're going to get to pick the next alloparenting group. 11 to 14, I got to learn how I would pick, because backstabbers, liars, betrayers, and two-faced hypocrites, unhealthy, insecure minds, they become sick once they're grown-ups because they perpetuate their unhealthy, self-soothing inner critic, negative talk. Outer critic, I know what's right, I'm going to go project it on the evil group. Inner world, let me continue to use this, body protected. Inner world, let me continue to do drugs and fuck people and just randomly live a biochemistry that is shitty as fuck, and let me continue to re-traumatize myself and allow myself to say that I think not everyone needs to heal from trauma. There's a bunch of people out there who do that stuff, and in the meantime I just think, Dr. Amy Apigan, I'm so happy you're out there telling people that even after years of therapy that there's still work that sometimes will be done with their nervous system. So the brave ones take care of themselves, because you know what happens with a body that is not actually healthy, in addition to mind, obviously. They'll manifest whatever they want. Thing is, an unhealthy body, it's called distress. Okay, so that's why I'm not actually worried about people who you cannot talk sense to. You can't talk sense to Cusco. Look, he gets himself in a lot of trouble, but they're not Cusco, they're humans. So we are noticing these sick, unhealthy, insecure minds and bodies out there, and they're all the ones who have rallied together and are against modern day therapists, number one. They're against healing their own childhood trauma, number two. They're completely unsafe. Well, not to us. They're really just people who are going to continue until they continue pausing for reflection. If you are a piece of creation, the creator is definitely embedded within you. You just have to turn inward to know. Thank you, Sadhguru. You will know the piece of creation, this divinity thing that they say you are, which you're not completely, because otherwise you're just deluded by your ego and imagination, because you're always going to be a human inside. Your flesh comes with you. So I, for example, can say Maria is going to pretend that she's only science, even though I'm pseudoscience. Meaning that I can say, hey God, I'm going to put you to the side. But is that really legitimate? Because Maria is 45 and she grew up with Jesus, God, and Holy Spirit, and knows the healthy fear. In fact, I'm not afraid of God at all. He's discerning equanimous love. As a mystic, I'm not afraid of space, Akash. Actually, I'm like part of her. Like empowered feminist, just fucking badass. High five. It's a cosmos. There's no evil demons or any of that. I mean, at best, we got Gargamel in the little corner with a little cloud, Tasmanian devil, like just the cartoons. All the galactic beings, my future self, all of that, which is my mystic stuff, is right here. In fact, I am actually integrating them as we speak. So with the part of science, they look into consciousness and how it, blossoms and continues to want to unfold. And the ones of us who are, again, enlightened, we have compassion, forgiveness, and think clearly, because we have that which is equanimity, the power of, I got the power of a calm-centered, embodied brain that says yes to love, life, and we're not always right and wrong at all. Actually, it's subjective. And as for the world, it will be fixed, because we always work through these societal, cultural changes. Okay, so when you meet those who are very much like that, that's not an enlightened one. I'm just saying enlightened ones are integrated brains. We understand as functional child adults that sometimes you can get really sad and really mad and really afraid. And we don't do it in a way of making it into a big deal when it comes to the globe, because in this case, for me, I do have proof of cosmic karmic balancing. Well, I had proof before that. God always wins. Okay, and let me continue with a couple more quotes that I wanted to share with you all from Sadhguru, as he is wise. So yes, the ones who are propelled by rage, don't worry, they won't win. And I know people are scared, but they also forget again that they're not God and they're not perfection. So they also don't know what that cosmic karmic balancing is at. So let me share. Propelled by compassion, we do what is needed. So I'm putting my Maria hat to the side for a minute. I'm putting my Maria Mystic with God, Source, Akash, Anima Mundi, Future, all of it hat. So if you understand from a spiritual perspective that all of us are a piece of energy and that we have our own frequency. So you're like, it's like a look at those digital colors, like that little circle. Okay, so by being a part of a whole, you're never really one out of place. And because people like to use stories to understand concepts, I don't need that. I can accept darkness. The 5D collective of enlightened beings will be back at IHP for sure, because we're working on our 8th and 9th chakra expansion, and it's amazing. And I'm preparing that patron membership content. Remember it. And also we're going to have an episode because we have a solar eclipse coming up, a partial one. But long story short, you're never out of place. So you're going to I'm going to do it this way. Imagine that little bubble, the digital color one. Okay, so if you choose not to be all that you can be in this lifetime, you're not going to be turned out. You don't cease to exist. You're going to carry that with your next lifetime. Okay, so you don't have a good or bad in this sense, spiritually speaking. Okay, soul stuff and us not needing to do anything, because it's always giving us that one word that some don't think we have: free will, choice points. So you're getting the choice point to become the best version of you. The people can do it when they're securely attached. You know your nervous system and you're choosing that ventral vagal state, so equanimity, and that's why you're also then able to use mindset. You also know, strategically speaking, as a political science major with my bachelor's degree and master's in international relations and diplomacy, I know all about strategy. In fact, I'm very strategic, meaning that I know if I meet a two-faced coward, a hypocrite, I will learn their hands. By the time they're done, they have at best 5 hands. And like my facade friend, they're a trauma person on a wheelhouse, because insecure people, they stay traumatized because they stay helpless in their default mode network. Their first year of life, their second, their third. It's not my fault that they don't want to go get themselves to become confident, so that if I looked away, they could be confident. And that's the part of why I'm a 4-year-old, got rejected, I'm still confident. I'm an 8-year-old, I got disowned, I'm still confident. I'm a 20-year-old, I'm still confident. I'm growing confident by the minute. I didn't change my confidence level because I'm a self-led, self-agent who's like, I'm Maria, you can't spank me. So when you're a child inside, always, then you see a child who's scared and you relate to that child like your child is with you, and you think, I would, in this moment, want to hug the child, but I'm attachment trauma educated and know that because of their level of traumatization that I need to not do that. I'm going to have to contain myself from wanting to hug them deeply and just caress them and just hold them tight, while thinking, yeah, even if I did that, they're not safe anyway, so they're probably like, get off of me, you can't do anything to protect me, so why are you hugging me? Something like that, you know. And so I can envision a bunch of scenarios of how the innocent child is going to evaluate their fear innocently. In the meantime, the ones who want to be grown-ups using the word God and using holy, war is not holy. So some people got locked in a time away, but that doesn't mean God is ceasing to be with us. So again, when people want to play God, I know that they didn't remember who they are, because the minute you're playing pretend, you're now dishonoring the very word that you think you know what it means. So self-righteous people don't know what the word God means, or the ones who think that they're enlightened to the point of being able to talk to you about people and their roles in this cosmic karmic. So again, it's every voice serves a group of people who need to have a reassurance. I'm not here to reassure people. I'm here with grown-ups who are reassured and knowing we get to deal with some sick shit. Unhealthy, insecure, sick shit. Because there's a grounded in reality Maria thinks is sick. Every single person who's unhealed is sick. And I get to deal with their sickness when I'm watching a movie, when I go outside, when they think that they're telling me comedy is sure, it's comedy. It's sick. Got to college, met more sick people. Like, the word sick to me means you don't know how to wield yourself, not you're sick in a sense of the flu. That's not sickness. You got a flu. You can cure it. So healthy, self-worth, empowered human beings who have intellect will be thinking nothing humorous of this sick world right now. And we won't be suffering it because we know what we are seeing. And that's because of the masses, by the way, who follow a bunch of more masses. And when I'm seeing that, I just need to sit down. And again, I'm not God. And He knows everything. So you are able to put yourself down on the ground, get out of the self-righteous little grandiose butthole and say, okay, Maria, down here, God's got everything taken care of. You don't have to do anything because of... So the Ecclesiastes core message, the book of Ecclesiastes, often reflects on the limitations of human wisdom, the prevalence of folly, and the inherent foolishness of humanity. So I'm going to say there's not a prevalence of folly. There's just a lot of insecure people who are helpless, who follow other insecure, helpless human beings who then get with their charges, self-righteous batons, and think they know everything. And they start yelling about it. But they are souls that decided that they are going to do that. So, you know, they're convinced because they have clairs and they download that they know exactly what's right. Like the scientists, people think they know what's exactly right. And then we look from afar and think, wow, Pinocchio, Peter Pan, you're doing amazing while you waste your time away. But, you know, the limitations of human wisdom, that is where, when you do know, divinity is your ability to transcend perceived limitations. You don't transcend all of yourself. If you're smart, you realize that. So when I'm irritated by people, it's because they're not like me. And then I'm remembering I have no reason to put upon any human being expectations, because one, a not securely attached person will be a not securely attached person for reasons that I will not know of, since I don't have insecurity. Maria's not an insecure person. The minute you turn away and you don't look at me, you just showed me that you didn't know how to tell me you didn't like me. I don't know. I'm not going to really bother with it. I'm 45. Friendship is not just for companionship and comfort. It is a mirror to all that you are and all that you are not. And so we are always learning from each other, by the way. The moment you think you're above everyone, your mind becomes a barrier. Thank you. These are all Sadhguru. When you do things habitually, it seems easier, but without conscious action, there is no growth. When people think that they know right and wrong and they sit in it, they become very uninteresting, because now you just grow to be someone who's egoic, grumpy, and a buffoon. Sharpness of the intellect is not about outsmarting someone else. It means seeing life just the way it is. So when somebody thinks they know everything, this is the moment. As an egoic person, whether it's God or not God, you got a buffoon in front of you, which is why they didn't choose life, they didn't choose love, they did not choose wellness. They chose to remain what is a very specific body protected mode, except for with their herd, who pats each other on the back like the flat earthers, and that's who sees them. They all see each other and they all soothe and save each other. And then I think the bigger world needs people who are bigger than their just small little selfish nuclei. And those who think that this is not capacity are the same ones who they think because they don't achieve it. I can achieve it. I have compassion for everyone. But at the same time, I'm not going to pat you on the back and give you a green or red pass for the bullshit you do. Two-faced, hypocrite, cowards, unhealthy, insecure, sick minds, a bunch of them who remind me of simply my 11 and 14 years of age. And in fact, to this day, on a wheelhouse they are. But then when I bring in my mystic hat and my cosmic karmicking and the whole source hat, I know exactly why it is how it is. You don't prove this. Now, Maria knows about her empowered feminine, empowered masculine, and my feminine masculine element. Just to use an example, I got to close out my karma with my masculine element, mine. And I, in fact, actually know why and how, and I wasn't surprised. So the human herd is what we are a part of. That people continue to talk about the galactic beings, aliens, future, Yes, once we meet them tangibly, it will be amazing. And those who are curious of when it will happen or not, I get it. They're all curious. But the point is that there are some of those human beings out there who use that, which is their platforms, to talk to you about things that keep people divided. Although, again, this is not something that we need to address. Because for as much as I will understand every single person out there, I'm pausing to give you this tidbit. Sadhguru. There are two kinds of people, those who make things happen and those who enjoy it when it happens well and complain when it does not. Dalai Lama, we can approach life with laughter and love, not in spite of all the suffering, but actually because of it, that we have a kind of responsibility to bring joy into the world. Thank you. So when you're an integrated brain, restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating person, you are what Dr. Daniel Siegel would say, kind of a role of a securely attached figure for all of individuals that will be coming into your spectrum. He's talking to therapists, but I'm going to talk to you because you're a securely attached person. So you'll be a deep source of soothing for those who have a safe haven with you. Okay, and this is why with our polyamory community, the solo polyamory journey, you all know about that, and then moving into the polyfidelity vessel, which is amazing. But that safe haven secure based component, that is something actually that we know about, and it's not something you necessarily choose, because see, the ideal long-term relationship is I'm a safe haven and a secure base for you, not one or the other. And when I think of those who are in a polyamory community saying, you're not poly enough, that's not amore, that's not love. Love means that I will consistently make sure that you're leading life in a way that makes you happy, that you're consistently surrounded by people that are loving you and protecting you and keeping you to grow. I'm going to make sure you live the best life ever. That's what love is. Love is not, I'm going to keep you for myself. Love is not, I'm going to pick and choose what I like and don't like about you and da-da-da-da. So that's not love. And people who instead are insecure, unhealthy, and I'm going to use the word not sick in this case, codependent, they could use Terrio, but they might not want to. So, you don't choose for people if they're going to become their true self or not. They get to choose that. The attachment trauma educators, I'm just now probably going on 5 years educated. I'm settling in with it. And I'm like, that's why with my human hat, I have nothing to say to sick people. Go live your life. Like I told God, I don't see no Lucifer, just a bunch of cowards. I'm still seeing it. It's not impressive. It's not impressive, humanly speaking. I'm not impressed in any way, shape, or form. What I know from Source, Akash, Anima Mundi is that I don't need to lift a finger. And it's not because I don't want to. It's because even if I do lift a finger, I'm simply a choice point, like every one of us. But together, we are the love and the equanimous and the ones who can stand and make the world continue to move towards more of our humanity. So we overflow in humanity, divinity descends because you're common sense. You're not a two-faced fucking asshole who thinks that you know everything, and you actually stay with that humbleness of understanding how you can be as irritated as can be. You have no right whatsoever to think you're entitled because you don't know any of your one brothers and sisters, and all of that which is on this globe is made by individuals who surround themselves by their next style of parenting group. And if they did not get securely attached, guess who's the buddy of the not securely attached? Cusco, without Pacha. Go find Diego's family from Ice Age, shall you? Because all the codependent people, they just keep watching each other from the back. So this is why it's a trickle-down effect. So as long as you got unhealthy, insecure minds that are sick, who not only pick at what they like, and then they pick at what they don't like, and then they come together with their charges, and then they go yelling in each other's faces, and they think they're making a difference because they're yelling. It's like, sure you are, not really, but hey, you're getting it off your chest. In the meantime, we don't have to do anything because everything's taken care of anyways. So, it is what it is. While 4D, they talk about this thing in a very specific way, I'm going to share with you that the 5D collective, because of having that, whether mystic, spiritual, or mindful, or maybe not using these words at all, having a body that is connected and not protected towards being human and our human species will give you the I'm grounded in reality, equanimous, discerning, loving tone. So I believe in God. You don't have to. I'm a mystic. You can call it woo-woo pseudoscience, because at the end of the day, that is the accurate way of calling it for us having sciences. So when I look out into the big globe, I know exactly why, academically speaking, with an equanimous, intellectual, emotionally mature brain, what is going on. When I have to meet hypocrites who are two-faced, who are sick, because the point is, you not getting yourself to get better somewhere. But I was a kid knowing this, because the nervous system, they connect. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you pretending to be mean? You're just afraid. You're being spiteful. Makes no sense. This makes no sense to a person who didn't lie and who didn't let me pretend to be you. So that's why I call them all hypocrites. They are all teenager versions of themselves, and I don't think fondly of anything. It wasn't because I had a great time as a teenager. I chose my herd, and I got to find out what cowards do, and then I got to find out what cowards do again with my facade friend. So I got to then find out again. And so when I'm meeting cowards, though, I'm not thinking people say you judge. No, I'm thinking you're a coward, which is why that one consistent sentence from God, don't judge your brothers and sisters of human suffering, a waste of your fucking time. You know why I consider it a waste of my fucking time? Nobody asked you to have to love me. Nobody asked you to have to be here. I didn't ask you anything. I actually simply, hi, or however you want to pose it. So you're not forced to have a relationship with me. And you're not even forced to be anywhere near me. So I don't understand why you don't know how to be authentic or transparent. So a self-led person is going to be wondering all of these things as they're perceiving bullshit behavior, and you grow up and you don't think, oh, I don't trust humanity. No, I know that I won't have expectations from anyone because you're going to show me what you're made of, and you're going to be of one of two types. You're going to be brave or you're going to be a coward. I don't do that. God kept me away from cowards on purpose. And if you don't want to consider that, luckily for me, I found out that I was kept away from people. I'm like, this is a good thing. I don't want my eyes to meet the eyes of those who are happy when things happen well and then who are complaining when it doesn't. They're considered half safe by the people who don't know how to stand up for themselves. For me, they're considered like my facade friend. I actually had a very serious conversation with you and you lied to me again? What is your deal with not being able to be yourself? And I'm yelling in their face, by the way. Oh, I'll never forget that day as he's stirring. And I had an episode. We had an episode for that because I realized I already knew people didn't own their subconscious. Now I know attachment trauma education. So I'm like, okay, yeah, there's a bunch of them who don't. Do not think spirituality means having a nice, quiet life. It means being on fire. So when you have passion, your ventral vagal state is amazing. And you being able to harness all of your emotions. So healthy fear, you get to harness it. Panic attacks, gave me plenty of practice. Is it fun? No, it's not. But I'm happier to have practiced healthy fear because, I don't want to think of the other stuff. But sadness and anger, pretty straightforward because anger, I got to be all my little angry butthole. So when you have a good household environment and then you're self-led, that's why you choose to be brave and say, I'm not the bravest one of them all. No, Patrick Tiahan, who's helping childhood trauma survivors to heal, they're really brave. Kylie, she's healing from narcissism and she's in remission with borderline personality disorder. She's super brave, and her sociopath boyfriend get hate mail. They're super, super brave, and I am rooting for them. And Dr. Daniel Fox is super brave because he helps them versus the ones who say, my colleagues are all against me. Look, narcissists aren't healable. Wow. I mean, I know we all have personality patterns, temperament, and our foundation. So we carry with character traits, but they are healable. Their entire body is healable. Like you don't know but your colleagues are all against you. Are you one of those like the flat earthers, the round earthers are against them? Is that what's going on? Are we a group? So that's why they're all cowards, backstabbers, liars. It reminds me of all the teenagers who just hang out all together and didn't want to mingle and tingle with everyone. And they said, but it's because we can't. We don't have similar interests. Are we sure? Because I'm pretty sure I'm laughing with you right now. So once you have no expectations of what the other should do, you will have a successful relationship. Thank you, Sadhguru. Peace and happiness are rooted neither in the marketplace nor in the forest, but within. Thank you again, Sadhguru. And also your mind is a miracle, the greatest gadget on the planet. If you take charge of your mind, especially when you are young, you can ensure health, peace, joy, and an ambience to explore human genius. That's why I make what I make. It's not only for the grown-ups who are like equanimous, and whether you're mystic, spiritual, or mindful, but you understand when I'm saying the sick, unhealthy, insecure minds are unimpressive and they are disgusting. Someone getting off of panic attacks, I try to contain myself due to the fact that I have attachment trauma education, which is why yesterday I put my human hat on, because Maria's human hat alone, putting God to the side, who keeps chiming in at Jesus, all of it. Attachment trauma educators who let me know why people are still suffering life. I have too many answers to why I'm seeing what I see. So at the end of the day, how do I come here and tell you, wow, you know what? I just think that a bunch of fucking pieces of shit are out there. Because really, that's me being, am I not being self-righteous right now? Yes, but the difference is I'm aware, accountable, and I'm going to say, I ain't right. I'm upset. It's called I'm angry at seeing morons continuing to be in places. But then again, I think of Schopenhauer's quote and what I learned in my college years. And what I continue to learn, and why God keeps chiming in to remind me how not to judge my brothers and sisters of human suffering, a waste of my fucking time. And then I bring into what I was trying to get to is I'm not helpless when I see anything happen. I have a roof over my head. I have two hands. I have 2 feet. I have health. I have a voice, and I'm speaking. And I'm not right or wrong, but I know exactly why we find ourselves where we find ourselves. Believe me, I was very disappointed the minute I realized what was going on. And I was like, okay. So now that I know what the real deal is, let me think about what am I going to do with my life? Well, I'm going to keep helping people to be themselves so they can be happy in life. So I was 8 when I said I'm going to help people in their life. And although people think I changed my mind, I didn't, because my heart is what has led me to what I do today. And in fact, the people who are self-led know all about it. And so again, thank you for the brave ones of you. And please do remember, we will not be liked by all, because the ones who think that we need to give a green pass to people or a red pass are the ones who I don't interact with. I say I'm neutral. Oh, what? You don't judge? Yes. You have no opinion? Yes, I don't have an opinion. No, I just have a very subjectively open, flexible, adaptive opinion, because I'm not right or wrong. And really, if I were right, which all of us who know what right is, we make the planet a sustainable planet: air, water, food. Common sense human beings who use their executive decision making function areas know, wow, it's a round globe. The air, it's like, really stop with the virtual reality just for a minute. Pause your brains and think of it mathematically speaking. 1 + 1 = 2. We really don't need it. Yeah, but when people don't know how to be their true self and they have a whole bunch of stories and a whole bunch of rage and a whole bunch of righteous pent up from their homes, and they got broken and they didn't go to bother to fix themselves because they didn't think they needed it. In fact, they still get followed around by a bunch of other human beings who are also broken, and they're also very beautiful. No, they're not. They're just very much cold as ice. No, they actually think a lot of things about fucking and not what realistically speaking. I'm going to leave that alone. But I want to share with you a quote of mine: being focused on what's right for you always leads you to success. For you can never know failure when you follow the depths of your heart. And so when you are being yourself, and I get to bring together sciences and spirituality to support human evolution and consciousness, I like to shed light on love and your ability to be the authentic you, which is an inner child adult with secure attachment, brain integration, and restorative embodied self-awareness. I'm going to let you know, all people can choose this. Some people have a harder road ahead of them. Some don't. And so when you approach life with mental, emotion, physical mastery, you're intelligent. And when you understand that the right or wrong thing is very subjective because of experiences that have been a part of your life, that's when you're going to begin to know how you don't know right or wrong for everyone. You can know what's right or wrong for you, but then when we want to look at the globe, again, what is happening from a social sciences, humanities perspective with my background, I know exactly why. And that's what I try to explain to people that are actually making a lot of noise in a way that I understand, but they have not yet mastered their nervous system, so they don't know how to be what is called by the somatic therapist an angry Buddhist. I'm not an angry Buddhist. I can be an angry Christian Catholic who in fact is very disappointed, very upset and sad, because I had a good Christian Catholic upbringing, and thanks to my Christian Catholic upbringing and my self-agency, never once did I question God, and still I don't, which is why when I'm talking to God and I'm having a very important conversation, I said, you know, God, I don't really care about this shit right here. So this is a little bit of story time, and then we're going to go, and we might have some channeled guidance after. Said, I don't care about this shit. I know exactly what you meant. I tended my hand. I offered a bridge. I also prayed to you. We prayed, whatever. Okay. I don't care about this. I know that there's this that I can't do anything about. That I'm very upset. So you being able to be your own self, beloved, reassure your 0-1-year-old wheel, medicine wheel, body connected. Now we have a luminous warrior with us. Okay, so that's what IHP is all about. You get to be yourself for real. Your magic works for you. You don't need to reclaim your power. You already have it. You take the lead with the prefrontal cortex. You don't act as if you are empowered. You are empowered. So when you are in this connection with yourself, number one, you stay loyal to what you are, which is why you grow well-being. Number two, it's because you're in your prefrontal cortex. You know this and that can be true, which is why you give and take with grace, which is why I don't say I'm going to be your friend and take it back. I have healthy self-worth. And sometimes people like to make really valid points of why are you friends with some people? And it's, well, I became friends and now, you know, he kind of grew on me. So my facade friend, emotionally immature people, they're still people. There's no reason for us to judge them in a way of they're good or bad. As for the world, we know it's good or bad. And again, there's people who will take sides. So the explanation doesn't satisfy those who suffer. And those who suffer, though, don't understand who God and Akash and Source are from a mystic spiritual perspective, which is where those who don't believe. So if you're an atheist, right now I'm going to bring in what is from a not atheist. Because from the atheist perspective, I gave you an explanation. As a subject matter expert in the field of international relations and diplomacy, I have all answers. I don't want to talk about it. Consciously, I chose this because I have no interest. I'm not in the profession. I'm in the online marketing entrepreneur, content creator profession, podcast host, self-agent, mindset, mentor, content creator, all of this, not the other stuff. That is actually put to the side very much because go away, all of it, and let me bring in God. So from that perspective and cosmic karmic balancing and the fact that I know that there's this free will thing and the way that a 5D person will address it with God, mystic, empowered feminine, it will be quite clear that, so I explained, I don't remember because it's been a half hour-ish that we've been here, my masculine element, so we have masculine feminine, got to close out his karma in this lifetime. And all people do, the ones who are moving into Dharma. The ones who don't, it's not a big deal because they're going to come back to continue working through their karma. So karma is not good or bad, and there's many different layers of it that we could look at. We're not going to. And again, please don't write down notes because I'm not using dictionaries at all. I'm using Maria's language, and all of it is. And I need to address that because there are those who come in assuming that I'm using textbook stuff, which I don't. I get the gist of it. I fuck it up. I confuse it. So don't come in thinking of it as linear because I don't do that. I don't have plans on doing that at all. I mean, unless I need to teach you 1, 2, 3, which I'm not doing right now. And teaching is not what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you exercises and activities and journaling. So yeah, you get a 1, 2, 3 on that. But if you need to be informed of content, that's go get a degree in attachment trauma. You see what I'm saying? So spiritual personal growth, I give a lot of in-depth details. Some people say not necessary. I say I don't know who comes across my content. So that's why in the free content, I'm more than happy to share information that is useful to those who are empowered, of course. To those who are not, it's bullshit. It's just fine. You know, neuroscience, haha, everyone has something to believe in. Sure, whatever. So, okay, when you know that things are going to go the way that they're going to go, it's not because they have to go that way. It's that I'm a choice point to you. So when I'm presented to you and you're presented to me, I get to choose if I'm going to be kind or if I'm going to be a fake asshole. And they're not always unkind. I'm just pointing out authentic love. I say who I am who I am, and I continue to walk a walk and talk a talk. So I won't make friends with you if I don't want to become friends. And once we're friends and in a relationship, I'm not going to put you to the side because we have some differences. Okay, so when people want to make fun of each other, which as grown-ups we still do, it's cool. You know, at the same time, you think about it. I like to think about things, and people like to ask me very interesting questions. So I'm still thinking about the questions that I get asked. And I kind of feel a little bit bad because the people who are immature, I do have you were mediocre, you're uninteresting, very buffoonery. And so I feel bad because like a kid, but I am judging. I am casting a little bit of that stone, right? And that's the part of where the humanity comes in to where we all have likes and dislikes. My 14-month-old likes to hang out with honest, authentic, transparent, expanding consciousness people. My 14-month-old doesn't like to play with the ones who are insecure, unhealthy, sickos, and in many different ways. Men, women, are they really grown-ups? But I need to reframe it because they didn't choose to have trauma. And also, not that I need to, I want to, because that's, again, the humility of a person who's self-accepting, like a functioning child adult who doesn't need therapy, because I don't need therapy. I can be annoying just as much as anyone else. The difference is I know people don't tell you shit. So I try to make sure, please tell me. I really don't have to have friends. I have enough friends. I don't have to have in my life. Like that, my concern is wasting people's time personally. But anyway, that's how my brain thinks. So, once you get to know who you are and you do know that you have quirks like anybody else, you just want to make sure everybody has a good time because that's what life is made of. 24 hours. I'm not going to have you waste it with me. So people who are incompatible. They don't have incompatibility to the point of eliminating and deleting each other. There's no reason. The ones who are unhealthy, insecure, sick minds play Russian roulette on TV, and they think that they know how to be a father. And I think in those moments, I wish I was a big monster. But that's why God doesn't make us into big monsters. We just have stories that we can use, and I don't use them that way because He always wins. So what do you get taught when you see cosmic karmic balancing? Okay, so when you're a self-aware, accountable, regulating person who knows who God is, and you don't play God, you know who divinity is and source, and yeah, we're a piece of it, but really it's just a bunch of people who, when I hear it, I got it. I get what they're saying, but it doesn't resonate. I resonate in a way of, I already know who the ultimate perfection creator is. I am merely a piece of a string. It's kind of like, it's the cosmos. I'm a piece of it. I'm a big piece of it. I'm a small number. I'm a normal piece of it, and it's like music. It's a guitar string. So I don't give it a virtual reality or having to be one. It doesn't have to be any of it. I am very much at peace with my human secondary consciousness, which is why I love that man Thomas Campbell. As he points out, the truth always will float to the top. It's not fragile. I learned as an adolescent that I would not waste my time with liars, because lies always come, the knots come to the comb. They always come true. And insecure, unhealthy, sick brains are insecure, unhealthy because they have pathologies. And as long as I have any insecurity, whoop, there it is, because I don't have any. And the minute I see your hypocrisy, though, I'm not going to tell you shit, because I learned how not to tell people when they are weak, because it's not nice, but also they don't take ownership of it. So two-faced hypocrites are the self-righteous individuals. Now, while as a teenager, I did it too. I know what's right. When someone said, you don't listen to what we do or what we say, you're right. Thanks for pointing it out. I don't want to be a hypocrite. Okay, so God has things taken care of. Cosmic karmic balancing. I actually got to see, one, nothing gets taken away from you. If you're living Dharma, and so you're conscious and you're one with the Akash source, call it whatever you want, you're following your heart's calling. You don't fuck it up, because there's no failing at all. You can't physically fail if you're following your human being heart. If you're a pretender, I know everywhere they are. They keep falling down and rising from the ashes and falling down, and life hits you hard. Yep, there you go. Oop, there it is. So stressed out drama kings and queens are unimpressive again and again and again, and they're cheerleading squads, and I'm like, I ain't cheering any of you on. I'm your biggest fan. You got up, you're brave. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody else who doesn't know how to handle a pain point, come on, get over yourself, shall you? If you're a poor child in the middle of what I know is existing right now, I'm not going to say shit about that. If you have a roof, you got money, you got YouTube, okay, put it down, meaning give it a rest, and get your default mode network to stop being helpless, please. Just thanks for stopping by. Really, I'm just so hopeful that people are not going to be here that are that. And you know why hopeful? Because there's always the ones, I want to be a part of the team. I want to be a part of the team. I want to. You're not a part of the team, but okay, fine. We're going to have to carry you along. We all have some of them. That's how it feels when you got the ones who won't let it go. Let it go. Yeah. So, again, and so bringing back the human stuff, like Seinfeld points out in one of his comedic skits, is, are you going to change your friends? You got them. They're all the same. But it's in a fun way, not in a, oh my God, I don't judge people. So, cosmic karmic balance, when it comes up, it's not something that you're going to be like, wow, that's so amazing. So my masculine element and my feminine element, they're all in Dharma, to give you the spiritual mystic story example. And when I didn't get something taken away, which is a private story, I remember, because as this is going, this is being, I'm like, wow. And it was more of light off, light on. And actually that's amazing, because we're all a Merkaba, right? A big oversoul. So that was how that played out. And then what played out next was that which so every action you take will have a reaction, and everything that will happen was meant to happen, and it will make its way to you, right? So this is the part of, if you grow from something, it's because your growth mindset, you reframe it, you emotionally process, and you don't harbor anything. And so you've personally grown and you've spiritually grown. Those who need to call it post-traumatic growth, that's because they will have felt overwhelmed by that. Those of us who are not traumatized is because we're not overwhelmed by our emotions, our sensations, our container. Okay, just so we're clear, that's why we can choose equanimity. That's why we're using our nervous system the way I'm talking to you about. They're called secure, detached, and untraumatized. So I don't hear enough of those out here. This is what I'm saying. We're a group of people who are cool with being, we're all flawed. We all have emotions. Are we done making a big deal? We don't need to be pathetic. We don't need to be any of what the fuck is going on, humanly speaking. So with God in the forefront and cosmic karmic balancing, when it happens, you don't want it to happen. As someone you love is going to go through shit, but you get to be there for them, and therefore you will simply put be able to do the right thing, which is no friend, no person, no human gets left behind. So at the end of the day, you always reach out to help people because that's what it's called, to be responsible and to respond. And when you're not in any kind of physical threat, there's no reason to not support somebody to get back up. And what I'm trying to say is the people who harbor resentment, they don't actually process what takes place, and they want to pretend and they say, I forgave. That's not, we don't forgive like that. We actually say there's nothing to forgive. We're all flawed. We're all imperfect. We do things, and let's make the world a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are children and human beings dying and physically selling their children. Let's ensure to get all mentally healthy, empowered, securely attached human beings out there. So the more of us integrated brains who are kind, forgiving, know how to look suffering people in the face and say, look, tomato, tomato. Yeah, I have no opinion. Sure. Yep. I'm pretending to be positive vibes. Peace out. I'm going to go because, God's got everything taken care of. You can't seem to, I think you don't know how to handle the darkness stuff, your secondary human consciousness stuff, like, I can't do much if you don't want to become more self-aware, more self-accountable, more self-regulating. I can't do anything for you. I can't motivate you. I'm motivated because I said yes to Jesus, God, Holy Spirit. I'm just like a little know-it-all who's like, yep, I'm keeping my promise. Stop trying to make me break my part. I don't want to break my promise. You really taught. I had these people at one point. They don't deserve love. They don't. Like, look, I get it, you're upset, but I promise Jesus, and this is getting really vicious, and I think you just mean that you're upset. Why are you taking their side? I'm not taking their side. I'm just saying everyone deserves love. No, some people don't. Please, again, I made a promise. It's feeling very uncomfortable for you to continue to insist. I know what God said, and I know the cloak people, they don't know what he said. They're completely... Somehow they think bad juju can get in with Reiki and yoga, and they're like owning books and just throwing it at people, and they're like, the books are the right way, and it's like, yeah, sure, okay, you know what, keep throwing you books. So the people who actually are within the limited consciousness group, yes, they are linear, only one way and another way. That's why they have the people who can help them understand things. And then not everybody wants to become securely attached, non-traumatized. There's a bounty full of people who think that the term anxiety and depression are cages. Why are they trying to cage us? Then there's others who say, why do they try to pressure us to work with our emotions? We just want to, wow, really? I didn't realize to healthily self-soothe and to healthily work through emotions, you felt that we're pressuring you to move. Did you want to hear you're just being strong in a world that doesn't accept you? I know why you're so much wanting to die right now. I want to understand why you want to physically... No. I was given this bullshit story. I'll never forget how. And I could tell they were really true. I was like, wow, they suffer life. Hey, God, I'm pretty sure you won't punish someone who's suffering life like this because, wow, this is really painful. You know what? I think I need to stop telling them that they're wrong for wanting to kill themselves, but they didn't really tell it to me in my face. They just sent me a message, made me think they did, and then they didn't. And then they pretended like nothing happened. And I was like, what the fuck? And I realized, okay, we got a deal. I don't know what it is. And then I got attachment trauma informed. So what fantasy stage? Emotionally avoidant people. Oh wow, they're hooked on drama. Yeah, sorry to anyone who thinks it's disrespectful to call drama kings and drama queens. They are actively still alive. So once you know who they are, the fantasy stage people, you make sure to let them know, I'm not a cog in your game, but hey, I still love you just the way you are. Just be sure to be respectful of that which is real life, because we don't do pretend life, some of us. And I'm not joking or choking. And I have a lot of funny stories because, again, the bountiful of emotionally immature people that are out there, the unhealthy, sick human beings, there's people who get off of your panic attacks. They know it. That's the disgusting part. Then they also pretend to know shit. That's even more disgusting. And it's like, okay, why aren't you being proactive and getting out of that which is disgusting right now to a person who knows what health is? And no, you're not an energy vampire, not a dark aura. You ain't some little, I don't do fantasy. You're an actual human being who's in my energy sphere. Hell, I know Maria's a whack job. Nobody's in my energy sphere. You can get out of my energy sphere when you perceive people in your energy sphere and you're a sense of self that's owned. It's get the fuck out of my energy sphere. What do you think you're gonna get? You're gonna use your own words anyway. So really, all I am is and you're gonna blah, and whatever you blabbed out is yours, not mine. So yeah, that's what happens when you see spiritual bypassers. Not for real in your face. They don't know how to do things in your face. You see, this is why the cowards, they really get me. But I grew up, I learned that all the teenagers wanted to beat me up. I'm pretty sure grown-ups would just punch me, because that's, once they get older, now they become like, they think they're right, so they're gonna be like, ugh, and then they're like, wow, you're completely wrong, but hey, I have no more teeth. Why would I do that to myself? That's why silence. It keeps you both protected, and it also avoids you wasting your breath with those who are moronic, mediocre, and they're mediocre thinking that they're fancy with their suits, as they let us know that if I look away, their confidence will be eroded. So thanks for stopping by again. God has everything taken care of. There's no monsters. And if you ever do meet the monster, please remember, if they're a real monster, well, you won't be telling me anything about it. But because I've seen a bunch of things, yeah, there's no monsters. No. Really, it's not even, I don't even know how I'm going to continue trying to let you all know about Gargamel and the little cloud over here, because as a mystic, spiritual, enlightened one who's pseudoscience, yes, not pseudo-intellectual, like scientist, is amazing. The truth always comes forth. It's one feminine element. It means grounded in reality. People know how to discern for real, wise, good judgment, because we stay equanimous, calm, and centered in our left and right mode brain, and we're loving. And again, that means that we don't get self-righteous, and we also, as mystic spiritual ones, know we might not like what the plan is. I'm trying to help you understand this, just like we might be friends with people we don't like, but it's not about what you like or don't like. As Sadhguru points out with his lovely wisdom, may your decisions be based upon what truly matters and works, not upon your likes and dislikes. And never think in terms of who is doing better or worse than you. The only question is whether you are doing your best. Humanly speaking, we all can be annoying. Humanly speaking, we all have flaws. Worldwide speaking, it's a bigger picture thing. We're doing the best we can, and we're going to continue doing it. And healthy perfectionists know the best we can means we continue to work on it. Not that there is perfection, and God is perfect, and Saras and Akash. So again, when you have things happen, and you're like, wow, and then you're able to support those who are loved ones because you're not harboring resentment at all, and you get worried, but then you get relieved, and then you're happy, and there you go. And all of that, which is cosmic karmic balancing. Walk like an Egyptian, and they get to do maybe Dharma too. I don't know. But I know how I'm doing Dharma, and if you're a mystic in the 5D collective, you're doing Dharma too. So it's called common sense prefrontal cortex, if you don't want to use the mystic spiritual woo-woo words. It's a restorative, embodied, self-aware, accountable, regulating person. So thanks for stopping by. Welcome to the community, especially if you caught all the way to the end, because, that's how it works when we're a collective, when we resonate. And I love it. I love as we're going to grow and become bountiful and make fun of the Peter Pans and Lost Boys and try to respect them to the most that we can. Of course, we don't point them out. We don't get petty, and then we try to, I try to always remind you and remind myself that they all serve a purpose. And no, it's not virtual reality. It's choice points. Free will. Let's set an example for the children, yes, and let them know what it's like for us to be equanimous, and then to understand if some won't be, why. It has trauma. It has the body, but, we all care about the world, so we're going to be able to bring somatic experiencing and all the good mental health therapists that are out there, because they're not just therapists, by the way. We work all together. Light workers are people, and rainbow and all of the light bodies, all things you've heard. Okay, I'm going to go now.